First of all, I'd like to say good afternoon, good morning to all of my many friends, also to my many enemies. Once again, this is another Roosevelt Sounds Off, and I am back doing my regular video format. Oh yes, I am. The tripod and the camera are in the house today. We're having a lovely day, or at least semi-lovely day, here in Chicago. It's a Sunday afternoon. So maybe when some of you all see this, you're going to be seeing this, some of you all on Monday. Or hopefully a whole lot of you all will be catching this on Sunday evening, Sunday night. And this is another time of sharing with your old friend and brother, Roosevelt. I'd like to remind everybody to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to share the video. And tell people what I am trying to do here on Roosevelt Sounds Off. So just please get out there and urge more people to subscribe, because that's what I would need. And plus, if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Even if you don't like it, I mean, hey, give me a thumbs down, make a comment. You know, I would really, really appreciate it. You know, let's discuss some of these issues that we bring on this channel, because that's what this is all about. And on today, this afternoon, whenever you happen to be watching, I would like to get into a topic that I came across and found out about this morning. I found out when I was getting dressed for church this morning, I found out that the brother of Stephon Clark, Devonte Clark, has been arrested. I found out because I watched a video by David Carroll. You know, he's another YouTuber, but he is much, even though he's a black YouTuber, he's much more conservative in thinking than I am. And he said himself that he thought that he could see this coming, like, you know, a mile away or whatever, that Devonte Clark would be arrested. So therefore, right now, I am going to play you the news clip of the small interview that he had and the reasons why he was arrested. And I'm going to tell you what I think in just a second. So stay tuned for the clip. I'll be right back. We're going to cut to the clip right now.
Tell him I'll pay for everything. I'm sorry.
A somewhat apologetic Devonte Clark sat down with KCRA tonight, hours after being booked in a Sacramento jail on felony threat charges, assault, vandalism, and abusing the 911 emergency line. Although police have not released details of what led up to the arrest, this couple says they are the victims.
It's been very stressful. Been very stressful.
They say Clark moved into their Acacia Avenue home to rent a room in November.
He came and filled the spot, and he was quiet and paid his rent on time and was perfectly fine until, unfortunately, what happened to his brother.
That brother, Stephon Clark, died in a police shooting last month. That's when they say things started to change. Alex Rushka described sometimes erratic behavior. The couple says Clark threatened them on Monday.
He's like, you know, you tell that I'm gonna to not disrespect me again, or I'm going to kill her.
They called police more than a dozen times, filed a restraining order, and said they eventually were put in a hotel. This is what they say Clark did while they were gone.
My entire house is destroyed.
We asked Clark about those claims.
What happened on Monday?
I don't have a lawyer, I don't think I have a lawyer for all this.
At times, he seemed to ramble, claiming someone was trying to kill him and trying to break into the house. I asked him about those who questioned his mental health.
No, I'm saying I'm a mental health advocate.
Clark then made his own claims about the couple.
They have all my clothes there. They have all my electronics are there. They ate all my food.
This was his response when I asked him to talk about why he's in jail now.
I think everybody should love everybody.
As for the couple, well, they spent the day cleaning up. Their landlord has given them until the end of the month to move out. They hope their former roommate eventually gets help.
It's frustrating because I don't...
Okay, thank you for viewing that brief news clip. And that falls under the category of fair use, by the way. Okay, let's get into it. Now, they said that he has been arrested for threats and tearing up the house of this couple where he was renting a room. And they said himself, before his brother was killed by the Sacramento Police Department last month, that he was being responsible, that he was paying his rent and doing what he had to do to make it. And I'm not there trying to give an excuse for, you know, anything or any kind of a bad behavior. But at the same time, I do have to say, I guess certain people, they act out when when they're in pain. I mean, because as many people who have not put themselves in him or his family's place, to lose a loved one, I mean, you know, especially by the same people who are paid to serve and protect you. I mean, I have, you know, some ways and, you know, some examples of dealing with this too, because anybody who's been following me for years knows that I've been a victim of police corruption here in Chicago. So I know how that feels with these people. They come against you and they possibly do things to you and you're not able to fight back and you can't do anything about it. I mean, it's not like the average everyday thug or gang member on the corner took his brother's life. His brother's life was taken by 2 police officers, one being black. So basically, whenever you talk about police, whenever you talk about judges, whenever you talk about the court system, whenever you talk about even the justice system here in the United States, you are talking about arms of the United States government, which you cannot fight against. It's none of us who can successfully win anything against any arm of the United States of America or any arm against the government of the United States of America. So maybe he acted out because he feels that he doesn't have any one to turn to, doesn't have any, you know, place to, you know, fall or all of this, especially when the people who are paid to serve and protect you or paid to serve and protect your family end up murdering your family. And I hear a whole lot of people on YouTube say, especially other black YouTubers, well, his brother bought it on himself because it was said that his brother was breaking into cars. I don't care if his brother was breaking into cars. I'm not trying to say that that is right or correct, but at the same time, even if you are breaking into cars, even if you're stealing, no matter what it is you're doing, even according to the law, even if you're arrested for breaking the windows of somebody's car, that is a crime that does not call for a death sentence. You know what I'm saying? How can them as a police officer get a cell phone mixed up with a gun? That's something I don't get, I don't understand. So, you know, I don't know how come we keep, like I said in the last video this past Friday, when I did my live stream, talking about the whole Starbucks issue. I don't know why it is by white people, even a whole lot of black people, sometimes it seems like our behavior is the one that's always looked at. Our behavior is always the one that's always going to be critiqued. Well, if he hadn't been doing this and everything, then maybe this wouldn't happen. Like the thing that happened to him is okay. And I mean, sometimes I would like to say also that whenever people are in pain, yeah, it does cause them to act out. They will act out in a certain way. And all of the people who are talking and all of the people who are putting all of this kind of stuff out, saying how a person should react and he shouldn't talk like this, he shouldn't act like that. How are you to say unless you done stood in those shoes? Unless you stand in those shoes, you can't even speak upon it. I know how it feels to be the victim of police brutality. I know how it feels to be a victim of police corruption. I know how it feels to be the victim of the system. Why? Because it's something that happened to me. I mean, even when I first started this channel, everybody was always telling me I need to say this and need to say that and don't need to say this and don't need to say that. How can you tell me when I'm the one in pain, when I never received any closure, I never received any resolution even for my problem, I never received any kind of justice? So how can you, as people out there who are saying all of this stuff, you know, try to tell people in pain how they should react unless they have stood in those shoes? And I think it's very wrong and very judgmental of a whole lot of people to tell people how they should react whenever they're in pain. Now, maybe Devonte Clark, maybe he does need some help, and maybe he does need to talk to somebody, because I think a whole lot of us, you know, who have dealt with these issues, especially issues of police corruption, police brutality. I mean, maybe some of us do need to sit down on a couch and actually talk to somebody, because there's no kind of a way that we could ever fight the system. Even if it was proven that we are right in a situation, you know, it's chances that police officers still could get off. I mean, right now in Chicago, they're about to have the trial, possibly this summer, of Jason Van Dyke, who's a Chicago police officer who murdered a 16, 17-year-old boy a few years ago, Laquan McDonald, here in Chicago. But, you know, they're already trying to do stuff or whatever to move the trial from Cook County in the city of Chicago to another county or another suburb, possibly another state, because they're saying that Jason Van Dyke could never ever get a fair trial here in the city of Chicago, because when he shot Laquan McDonald 16 times, it was something that was all caught on tape. So they said that he's not going to receive a fair trial. So them trying to move it out of state and out of Cook County, I mean, that just only goes to show what they're trying to set this up as is for Jason Van Dyke to possibly get off, even though he just murdered somebody and shot them 16 times. They're just trying to engineer a way for him to get off. So how's everybody going to deal with that? Because I get a feeling if Jason Van Dyke gets off, I'm not going to even say them. I'm going to say we will burn this city down. We, meaning I will be out there. We will burn this city down. Because how can some of you all tell people out there that who have dealt with these kind of issues and had these kind of problems when they receive no justice, no closure for the problems that they've had and gone through with police and government, how they should react, especially when the cop, it seems like, always gets off. Because it seems like it's one rule for them, one rule for us. Because if it was one of us who murdered someone, or for all of you all out there, even some of you all police officers who might be watching, because I know you're watching, let me make this more personal. Even if it was one of us citizens who murdered one of you, meaning a police officer, it would be no kind of way that we could get a chance to move our trial to another county, or to another city, or to another state. No, you know good and well that that would not stand. But it's always a different rule when it comes to police officers. So therefore, you know, if there is no closure, you know, people sometimes in their minds and hearts sometimes go crazy. Because, I mean, if they did something wrong, they should be held to pay for it just like everybody else. I mean, this happened over a month ago, and we still don't even know who the two officers were who even killed and shot Stephon Clark. And even he was shot over 10 times. Did you have to shoot him 10 times? I mean, if we murdered somebody and shot them 10 times, even if it was 10 times in self-defense, they would consider that lawfully to be an overkill. But yet, police officers do it every day. And every single day, police are too hard in this country. And the worst part is every single time, every single day, they get away with it. And I believe that that's the problem. And I believe that's how come he's having the problems that he is having. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. That there needs to be a resolution. You know, and he needs closure as far as the death of his brother goes. And if I were him, there's no kind of a way I would have taken it on the people I live with. No, I probably would have gone after one of the police officers who did something to my brother. That's what I would do. I would let that anger be placed on the people who caused the problem, not just people who I live with. So in saying that, that's where I'm going to leave it. If anybody likes this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And next time, tune in for the next video of Roosevelt Sounds Off. Hopefully, I will see everybody next time. Peace and blessings to all.